For the last decade, building a massive software-as-a-service company was the ultimate path to wealth. Giants like Palantir, Snowflake, and Databricks became the reference assets of the application layer. These three companies collectively employ tens of thousands of people. It took them over 10 years of engineering and sales to reach their current revenue scale. Anthropic added that entire combined revenue base, roughly $11 billion in ARR, in a single month. This level of scaling has no precedent in the history of business. As corporate budgets pivot towards intelligence, the towering architectural value of the legacy application layer is folding inward. Trillions of dollars are moving from software interfaces to the infrastructure beneath them. Economic returns have shifted to frontier tokens. Value is captured at the base infrastructure layer, physically locked within these monolithic rows of server racks. Application builders find their survival dictated by the few AI labs that control these physical resources. Every margin decision is tied to the pricing and availability of the models themselves. Software delivery has changed from the traditional flat-rate subscription to a usage-based model. Because each query has a tangible cost in energy and compute, users now pay by the drink. Survival requires staying in the token path. Application developers lease intelligence via API, effectively paying a toll on every thought the software produces. Frontier labs now face a strategic threat from foreign open-source competitors. Organizations in Beijing are catching up to American capabilities through a process called distillation. In this exploit, a competitor sends complex prompts to an American API to observe the step-by-step reasoning traces. They use that extracted logic to train their own smaller, more efficient models for a fraction of the cost. This creates a defensive crisis for the labs. They are incentivized to cut off public API access to protect their IP, even if doing so starves the software companies that depend on them. The major AI labs are locked in a game theory matrix. They must decide to close their APIs for protection or keep them open for revenue. If all close their APIs, they halt the distillation path and protect their research. However, severing the API connection leaves the entire software ecosystem without a source of intelligence. The matrix destabilizes when a single lab defects. Keeping their API open captures the entire global market of stranded developers. This revenue fuels a massive cycle. High API fees pay for more GPUs, and a larger compute base allows the lab to train more capable models than their rivals. Because the reward for compute dominance is so vast, a cooperative stalemate cannot hold. The standoff will inevitably break as one player chases the capture of the entire ecosystem. Since someone will always defect, APIs will remain accessible. Distillation will continue to narrow the gap between models, and the rate of competition will keep accelerating. Software developers are now building on shifting ground. The wide moat castles of the previous era have been replaced by fragile tools built directly on top of the companies that could replace them. A single routine update to a frontier model can absorb the primary utility of an entire application. What was a standalone product on Monday becomes a standard model feature by Tuesday. Instead of focusing on user engagement, the new survival mandate is the possession of proprietary physical data. This is information that foundational models cannot easily scrape or simulate through reasoning alone. The intelligence density of the token has become the primary metric of capitalism. We have entered a high-variance environment where the builders of infrastructure dictate the fortunes of everyone else.